Live from Studio 5 in New York City, this is the News at 6.
All right, still to come for you tonight, the debate over the pre-employment drug testing for marijuana. We'll be joined by an expert to break down why many companies require them and some say that they're banning them. We are back right now with our feature story, and it's a very current topic, pre-employment drug testing for marijuana. With pot becoming more accepted in many states, the debate is growing over whether testing guidelines should be changed. Okay, let's talk about it. Joining me right now is Dr. Mike Woodward, an organizational psychologist. And Woody, it's nice to have you back here today.
It's good to be here.
Yeah, this is quite a subject, and it's something that a lot of people are talking about.
Yeah, look, times are always changing,
yeah,
and public sentiment around the use of marijuana has certainly changed since the 1980s.
Sure.
So I have a lot to share about what's changed around that.
Okay, looking forward to what you have to say, but first we're going to go to Reagan Medji, showing us how some states, including New York, are dealing with the issue. Here you go.
It started during the Reagan administration in the late 1980s, a federal statute requiring employers to test for marijuana as a first step to getting that job. But today, marijuana isn't viewed as it once was in a health class, as a gateway drug which would lead to harder illegal substances. Instead, it's legal to use as medicine for numbing pain and reducing anxiety in some states. Recreational use varies by state, as does the effort to decriminalize it. Here in New York City, lawmakers are decriminalizing possession of small amounts. But when it comes to testing for the drug prior to getting the job, Nevada will be opting out unless the job involves positions where safety is critical. That measure goes into effect the first day of 2020. New York City established a similar ordinance in April to eliminate marijuana from drug testing. It goes into effect May 2020. Gregory Giangrande is a human resources expert and says this will become a nationwide issue because marijuana is still an illegal substance in most states.
If the drug is still an illegal substance, how can you prevent employers from screening for it for employment purposes?
According to the Chicago Tribune, even in a jurisdiction that's put an end to pre-employment drug testing for marijuana, employees can still get fired for using the drug. Also, they can still get tested if they're involved in some sort of accident. As for Connecticut and New Jersey, the drug testing is still in effect. On the Upper East Side, Reagan Medji, Fox 5 News.
All right, thank you very much, Reagan. Joining me right now is Dr. Woody back here. And, you know, listen, this is a complicated story, okay? I mean, you know, they've legalized medical marijuana, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, and other states. But it's still illegal in other states as well, creating some issues.
Yeah, it's challenging.
Yeah.
Look, right now, 33 states have legalized medical marijuana. And another 11 states, including D.C., have legalized recreational marijuana.
Right.
Now, on top of that, Quest Diagnostics has found that in testing, use of marijuana has gone up about 10% since last year. But public sentiment, according to Pew Research, has found that 62% of Americans believe marijuana should be legal.
Interesting, yeah.
So I think what we're seeing right now are city councils and state legislatures trying to catch up with public sentiment with their policies.
Trying to decide how to handle this thing.
Right.
Let's talk a little bit about, you know, pre-employment testing, okay? Because that's a very focal part of what we're doing today. And there's something that a lot of, you know, future applicants should really know, you know, what they should or shouldn't do. Break that down for us.
Yeah, it does differ state to state and city to city. But here in New York City, what I can tell you, this is not a blanket ban on pre-employment testing for marijuana, right?
Okay.
There are a lot of exceptions in this law. So if it's a job involving law enforcement, commercial driving, construction, supervision of children or vulnerable people or anything around public safety.
Very specific.
Testing is still allowed. So I think you have to know the kind of job you're looking at before you go in and expect that you don't have to take a pre-employment test.
Yeah, and it's important to point out too, you know, with all of this that, you know, you still can't show up high on the job because, I mean, the employer still reserves the right, if there is some suspicion, to be able to test.
Yeah, look, just like you can't be drunk on the job, you can't be high on the job, right? That is not legal and it's not safe, and it's you have an obligation to your fellow employees and the consumers you work with. So, yes, an employer does still have the right to test you if there is a suspicion that you are under the influence, because you could cause harm to individuals around you or consumers.
Right.
So that is still legal. That's still there. And they have the right to do that, to evaluate your state.
But a lot of policies, as you pointed out, are changing, like here in New York, for example, that have offices all over the country. So that's something that you have to think about.
Yeah, right. So you may be an employer here based in New York, but you've got offices and reach both throughout the country and internationally. So you have to lean on, I think, your legal counsel and certainly your human resource professionals to help you navigate that region to region, state to state, city to city.
There you go. Dr. Woody, always a joy to have you here with good information as well.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. Okay.